This dish is so nutrient dense. It is like one of the most incredible meals that you can make for your health, and it's super easy, and usually it can be made with whatever you have in your pantry. Most of us have peanut butter on hand, right? You might not have black-eyed peas, but you could probably make it with another bean, probably chickpeas. Chickpeas work really well. I think we all have chickpeas these days. These are dried black-eyed peas that I made myself, but they equal 2 cans of black-eyed peas. The link to the recipe is going to be in the description box below. Leafy greens are incredible for you, and you need a lot of them. They just have tons of fiber. They're incredibly nutrient dense. They have lots of antioxidants. They're good for your eyesight. They're so incredible, and if you want to live a long and happy, healthy life, I highly recommend getting a few servings of leafy greens every day. My husband tends to hate leafy greens, and he tends to hate kale, but you know what? I figured I cut it if small enough, like make it like it's like confetti. If I cut it like really small, put it in a very flavorful stew. I don't think he's gonna be that bothered by it. And there's like sweet elements, you know, like with the carrots and the sweet potatoes that kind of balance the bitterness of the kale. Also, this stew has legumes, which is the food that is most associated with longevity out of all the other foods in the world. Put 2 tomatoes in there. Tomato paste and tomatoes are rich in antioxidants, lycopene, good for your skin. This is actually, I took, you know those flavor bombs to get in this? Oh, no! Okay, so you know those flavor bomb tomatoes, or like the little grape tomatoes that are on the vine, and they're so good? I dehydrated them. I actually ground these in my coffee grinder, turned them into a sun-dried tomato paste. But you probably don't have that, so a 1/4 cup of tomato paste will work just fine. Well, you know what? Let's just get started. I prepared everything ahead of time because I didn't want to make this a long video. So let's get started. This is a whole onion. Actually, it's a sweet onion, but it's a big onion that I chopped up. There was stuff on my cutting board, like some herbs and stuff. That's why it looks speckled, but it is speckled, but it's not intentionally speckled. So no oil in the pan because onions have a little bit of oil, so you don't really need it. But you can keep a little bit of water by it to kind of deglaze it if it starts sticking to the pan. So I'm gonna try and put only a little oil in there because I do want to saute the tomato paste. It really brings the flavor out. A lot of the nutrients in tomato are fat soluble, so you do want a little fat in the presence of tomatoes. But we're gonna have the peanut butter. We don't actually need oil for that, but just keep that in mind when you're making things with tomatoes, that in order to get full activation of their flavor components and their nutritional components, you need a little oil. I put about a tablespoon. This is really hot. I had it on like medium high. Medium is probably better. I'm gonna put my little sun-dried tomatoes in there. We're gonna bloom our cumin in this too. Put about a teaspoon. Be careful when you do this because it can get too much. I think I got about 2 teaspoons actually in there. We like cumin in this house. About a teaspoon of turmeric, a little black pepper. We need a little bit more oil in here actually because it's just smoking. And I got black cumin, which is different than regular cumin. It's a totally different plant. It's from the Nigella, I think it's Nigella sativa. I ground this up and I put it in all my savory dishes because it is so good. Okay, we're gonna. It is so good for lowering blood pressure and lowering cholesterol. Like some studies show that it works as well as a statin. So I'm gonna put a tablespoon, about just as little as a half a teaspoon a day, can help you with your blood pressure and cholesterol as well. And it tastes like a little bit like a very mild cumin, but also like onions and garlic. It's got a pretty delicate flavor. Okay, so I'm gonna throw the garlic in here. Smells so good. And this is red chili powder from New Mexico. It's actually Chimayo red chili powder, but you can use chipotle, jalapenos, like whatever floats your boat. Throw some smoked paprika in here. About a teaspoon. So this is some broth that I made with my kitchen scraps. So I'm gonna I think that was about 2 cups. Probably like 3 cups. That's good. We can add more if we need it. So I'm putting in the carrots, the peppers. I should have sauteed the ginger. I forgot to. I should have sauteed it with everything else, but we have to cut it. So I just leave the skin off. I just leave the skin on everything. I left the skin on the potatoes. There's nutrition in the skin. There's fiber and nutrients, and we like that. We need about a cup of peanut butter. This looks like about a cup, right? Yeah, I think so. Okay. We're adding miso to it for saltiness and umami. Great thing about miso is that it doesn't elevate your blood pressure like salt does, even if it's the same level of saltiness. And I think that's because, well, I'm not, they say it might be because of the magnesium and potassium in it. There's also magnesium and in the leafy greens and potassium in the sweet potatoes. I don't know how all that figures in. Skin and all, skin and everything. We're all about the whole food here. Okay, we're just gonna let this simmer for about 20 minutes until everything's tender. And then we'll add the kale. Well, let's try it, okay? So, it's so perfect. Okay, I'm gonna squeeze a little lime. Let me see if it's better that way. I need to add a little salt, I think. I love this dish. It is so good. I'm ready to eat it. Ouch! But the plate is hot. I'm so ready to eat it. I'm so ready for this dinner. All right. Well, I'm gonna eat it. Thank you so much for watching me today. Thank you so much for joining me today. And, oh, the heck. If you go downstairs and follow the link, it will take you to the recipe. And be creative with it, okay? Promise me that? All right, bye. See you soon.